How's it going? Adam Drake here, and today I have the new MIP ByPass 1 shock pistons. So these are going to be sold through MIPonline.com as well as MugenRacing.com and also flashpointrc.com. Through Flashpoint and Mugen, they will come with the Flashpoint header card and also have Flashpoint part numbers, but it will be essentially the same kits as what come direct from MIP. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up, talk a little bit about what's changed as far as what comes in the package, and then also talk about why these changes were made to make it a high flow piston, and just go into the details of the track conditions and when and why you would want to use these pistons for any of your 8-scale vehicles. Okay, so I'm going to start by opening up the package and showing you what comes in each of the kits. So the pistons now will be available in kits like I'm opening up here, where they have the description of kind of what the ByPass 1 is all about, how to assemble these onto your shock shaft. It talks about the different color tuning valves, which are to control the rebound speed. The little kit here that has all those tuning valves. And then now in the kit, you will get 2 sets of stop washers. So with these stop washers, it now makes it just more versatile. You don't have to buy different kits for the specific brand that you have, or if you decide to switch brands, they have different stop washers, as you can see. 4 of them are gold, 4 of them are black. The Mugen ones, we use the black ones. So depending on whether you have Mugen, TLR, Associated, Techno, hot bodies, now with these stop washers, you're able to use them for any of those vehicles. Also included is the washer that goes on the bottom side of the piston, and also the nut to secure the piston to the shock shaft. So go ahead and just cut all this open just to lay it out. And now we'll take out the pistons with the washers. So the instructions are super important because it can be a little bit confusing. On the piston, now with the high flow pistons, there is an H, just to let you know that this is the high flow piston and not the standard ByPass 1 piston. But there is a little step on the side where it says MIP and has the H. Sometimes guys get confused and they think that's for the stop washer to fit in, and that's not the case. So this included washer fits perfect into that, and that will be the bottom side of the piston. So the top side where you use the color valve and also the stop washer, you're going to want to put that on the flat side of the piston. Otherwise, when you secure everything down, the stop, if the piston's upside down, when you tighten that stop washer down, it actually flares and opens up the bypass valve. So these kits are going to be available as a 5-hole option, 6-hole option, and also an 8-hole option. And I'll put the part numbers for each of those through Flashpoint. So with Flashpoint, it's going to correspond with the same number that comes from MIP, just it'll have an FP in front of it. And then also there will be pistons only. So you can get just 2 pistons. That way, in case you break a shock shaft or damage a piston, a shock body gets dented, you can buy just 2 pistons by themselves. And those options will be a 6-hole, 8-hole, and also a blank version. I don't remember, I could be confused. Maybe there's also a 5-hole option, but the blank pistons will be really nice because there's 10 dimples. So the bypass holes are already drilled, but the outer holes for your compression dampening, there's just dimples. So you can make a 1-hole through 10-hole setting if you like. And the kind of reason or why we've made the change to the high flow is, and when I refer to high flow, it's the piston diameter is slightly smaller. So these pistons will fit any 16 millimeter shock, but the previous version, the original ByPass 1 pistons, were slightly larger. So it allowed much less blow by. And then you would just control the dampening through the actual holes in the pistons. Well, what we found from testing was that when we decreased the diameter of the piston to allow a little bit more blow by, it was just a little bit more consistent as the conditions changed. Now, there still is a time when the standard ByPass 1 with the larger diameter works really well. If you're on a really high bite, high grip track, that's super smooth, like more of like a Euro style track, it seems like less blow by just allows the car to drive a little bit flatter as long as the track has really good grip. With the high flow pistons, with the increased blow by, it tends to give us more initial grip. It also allows the car to accelerate a little bit better through chop and bumpy conditions. And it just feels like there's a more plush feel and, again, more consistent feel if the track tends to change. So for the majority of the US style tracks where we kind of have conditions where very rarely is it just like the clean, oiled, high-speed track that you would maybe see like in Asia or Europe. We have tracks that tend to have really high grip in one area, low grip in another, bumpy, smooth. We tend to kind of have all of the conditions more often in one track surface. So with the high flow pistons, that's really, really helped where, again, we get more initial grip. The car tends to, when it lands, to recover and cut through the dust better than with the larger diameter pistons. And again, these are available now through mugenracing.com, flashpointrc.com, miponline.com, as well as many other shops and retailers.